Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to the Imagine Cup Finals 23 for India. It is such a privilege to have all of you with us today here. Hearty congratulations to every team which has participated in Imagine Cup. We hope that it has been a journey of learning and collaboration. And to bring in a context of this journey in India, we had over 11,000 students who registered, 17,000 plus students attended in-person and online boot camps across 15 states. And representing 145 institutions, we had over 220 teams that submitted their projects. And as you can see, they went through various rounds. And today we'll be selecting top two teams amongst the four teams that have made it to the final round. And we would like to welcome a very distinguished panel of judges for the IC round today. Each of them is an outstanding leader and entrepreneur contributing to the empowerment of individuals and institutions. We have on the panel Sairi Chahal, founder of Shiroz, Shashank Kumar, Managing Director and Co-founder Razorpay, and Anand Maheshwari, CVP and President, Microsoft India. And I would like to take a moment to introduce all the judges. Sairi Chahal is the founder and CEO of Shiroz, a community platform for women, and she has created a positive footprint for millions of women and empowering them. An Aspen Leadership Fellow, a Braddock Scholar. She's been recognized for her achievements globally and won several awards and serves on several boards such as Paytm Payments. A very warm welcome, Sari.
Thank you.
I would like to welcome Shashank, who is the MD and founder of Razorpay and created this venture to simplify digital payments and has evolved as one of the largest full stack fintech companies in India. Razorpay has powered digital payments for over 10 million businesses, including the likes of Airtel, Zomato, Swiggy, among others, and he's a recipient of multiple global awards. A very warm welcome, Shashank. And to introduce Anand Maheshwari, is the president of Microsoft India, is a phenomenal and illustrious leader and has made enormous contributions towards digital transformation, impacting millions of lives and hundreds of institutions through his leadership. He's responsible for Microsoft's overall business and presence in India, leading engagement with multiple stakeholders. Anant is the vice chairperson of NASSCOM, a fellow of Aspen Leadership Institute, and serves on the Industry India Advisory Committee of US IBC. A very warm welcome, Anand, to the panel. And before we move ahead, I would request each of the judges to share their thoughts for about a minute with these young, bright innovators who have made it to the finals. So just a minute, but would request to speak. And let's go with Sairi first.
Thank you so much. I'm actually a big fan of Imagine Cup. I have followed the journey of Imagine Cup for many years now, and I've had the privilege of being in the room, in the offline setting as well. And I think a little bit of when I look at the journey of the cup and a little bit of my own entrepreneurial journey, we're super privileged, we're super excited, we're probably living in the best time in history of technology. And I was looking at some of the solutions and just filled me with a lot of pride and hope to see, just to see the courage and hustle behind tackling hard challenges. So hopeful, excited, and I'm just very honored to be here at this point in time.
Thank you. Thank you, Sairi, so much for inspiring us. May I request Shashank now to just share his thoughts for a minute?
Hey, hi everyone, and thanks for having me here. I think many folks may not know, I think I graduated in 2012, so I was actually around when Imagine Cup started and was used to invite a lot of participants in the country from across the colleges, which is still the case today, right? So and uh, back in 2011, 12 as well, a lot of my friends actually participated in Imagine Cup when I was in college, and the innovation that it spurs right in students across the country, I think is phenomenal. It gives a great platform, great stage, and I've seen that there are a lot of competitions that happen around, let's say, like around coding, around security, and those kind of things, but very few competitions that actually work on building innovative applications for the world. And the scale and the ambition that Imagine Cup inspires in students is it's frankly amazing. And also the fact that the winner from here gets the stage to go on to onto the world championship and compete there, and also have a shot at getting personal mentorship from Satya Nadella. I think all of those things are really amazing. But uh, it doesn't matter who eventually wins the contest. I think just the fact that everyone gets to participate and gets a chance, right, to exercise their creative spirit, entrepreneurship spirit, and also build an amazing solution. I think that's what it should be all about. And I'm really glad to be here to evaluate solutions at the final stage. And yeah, I wish all the best to the all the participants.
Thank you, Shashank, for inspiring words. And over to you, Anand, for sharing your thoughts.
Thank you so much, Vinny, and I echo everything that Sairi and Shashank spoke. Absolutely thrilled to be here. This is one of those parts of my role where I get to witness the Imagine Cup's journey from the sidelines and get this opportunity to meet up with the finalists. So my privilege to be here. I'll start with a huge congratulations to every one of you who are here, as in coming from the number of applications that Vinny just mentioned. You already achieved so much in coming here. My only request to you is stay passionate about your idea and keep driving forward. And of course, if you get the opportunity to go forward the way Shashank mentioned, that'll accelerate. But that's not the only one. All four of you should teams should accelerate. Finally, why am I here? I'm here to get inspired by you. And I'm not saying this just because I'm speaking to you. Just a little while back, literally 30 minutes back, I was doing Q&A with 100 plus leaders at Microsoft. And they asked me the question, hey, listen, what should we do at this point in time with chat GPT and everything around us? AI is changing the world. So what should we do? And I told them, hey, listen, go listen to the people who are now starting their lives and taking all of this technology and doing wonders with it. I didn't connect the dots. I should have just told them, come along with me and look at the Imagine Cup winners and you'll get inspired. So here I am getting inspired by you. Back to you, Vinny.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's awesome. And we have a great panel and great projects that'll get showcased. So before we start, I would just like to share that we'll have these four teams presenting. Each team will present for 3 minutes, followed by 7 minutes of Q&A. And then the judges will get about 3 minutes to put in the scores. At 6.5 minutes, a buzzer will be played that indicates that 30 minutes are left for wrapping up the Q&A session. And the links to score the sheets have already been shared with the panel of judges. So we start our day with the very first presentation from the team Biome 22. So over to the team Biome for presentation and wish you all the very best.
Greetings. I'm Devan Sharma representing my team Biome 22 from Dronacharya College of Engineering. Every once in a while, there comes an innovation, a product that revolutionizes the way of the world. It changes how we function in our day to day life. It seamlessly integrates into our daily life. It's no secret that the agriculture industry is facing major challenges. We are in dire need of a solution that not only tackles this problem, but also does in a sustainable manner. It's about time we introduce Biome. Biome works on the principle of hydroponics, which is when we grow our plants or crops in water instead of soil. Hydroponics has lots of benefits over traditional agriculture, but there are even more problems associated with it. Hydroponic is very sensitive to the environmental parameters. Even the slightest of alteration of even one of these parameters can result in the plant's death. We have solved this problem with our project Biome. The sensors in the hardware continuously monitor and control all of these parameters. Using Azure's IoT Hub, the system's real-time statistics are displayed on both the attached OLED and the companion application. Additional manual control switches are also available in the application. What does Biome do? Biome allows you to grow your plants or crops without any human intervention. After installation, once the sapling is planted, you can leave the system as it is for up to 25 days. Biome will take care of any and all necessities of the plant. These are Biome's unique selling points. As it utilizes hydroponic, it does not require any soil. It saves up to about 90% of water, providing twice the growth rate. Our solution supports vertical agriculture, which makes it ideal for urban farms and increases the yield to about 5 times. Since this is done in an indoor and soilless manner, no insect attacks are observed and thereby no pesticide is used, which altogether generates completely organic and exotic crops in a sustainable manner. To operate Biome, no prior farming or technical experience is required. It can be operated by anyone intuitively. Individuals with disabilities can begin their entrepreneurial journey through organic crop production from the comfort of their home. The business model currently offers two variants: the window side model, which on average costs around 12,000 rupees, and the agricultural model, the cost of which may depend upon its scale. The PCB design has been completed, upon integration of which Biome will be launched in August of 2023. The hydroponic market is estimated to grow significantly, primarily due to three reasons: soil degradation, continuously growing population, and awareness about the benefits of organic yields. We have held key positions in 5 hackathons, where the prototype has received positive responses from various judges, entrepreneurs, and subject matter experts. Our vision for Biome is to enable one-step agriculture, through which we will be able to bring farms back to people. This was Team Biome 22. Thank you.
A wonderful idea, and clearly, I think a lot of applicability, not just in India, but rest of the world as well. Have you done any commercial testing? Like, have you taken it to any users? Did you speak to anybody who's used your product?
Yes, ma'am. We have participated over time. We have participated in over 5 hackathons, out of which we have generated a list of 56 people who have agreed to test the pilot model on the cost of 12,400 rupees. And it's the live prototype we has been presented to many judges, many subject matter experts, and we've also added some reviews.
All right, thank you.
Really interesting idea. I think it's definitely a very challenging problem. Uh, just quick question, like what kind of plants are you testing in this?
So Biome can Biome is able to grow many types of crops, but primarily we are using this crops because it offers twice the growth rate. For the same amount of land, you can generate 5 times the yield while continuously saving 90% of water with twice the growth rate. And coriander grown in a soil-based manner will take you about 62 days. But with Biome, it will take about 33 days.
So let me build a little bit on what Sairi and Shashank asked, and we'll maybe go back to some more questions from them. But you've definitely laid out some opportunities with Biome. What are the risks if you take a total cost analysis and the total factor productivity analysis of farming, because farming is not just about the efficiency of the growth of a plant. It's a lot of things. How do you bring that together so that when you're talking to somebody, you're looking at all the different factors?
So if I compare this to a traditional agriculture, the cost of traditional agriculture is significantly higher. Even if the farmer doesn't own his land, if he chooses to rent everything out, every equipment, every fertilizer, everything out, still the cost of biome will be significantly lesser, because the land requirement lessens significantly. You won't be require any significant amount of herbicide, pesticide, because this will be grown in indoor manner. And if I compare this to the average cost of what regular farms use, regular farms are quite dependent upon the weather patterns. Any significant changes in weather patterns can lead our crops to die. For you to rent a tractor, it costs around 1,500 to 2,000 rupees, and for you to rent a bull, it will require around 1,400 rupees. And if someone chooses to go to a semi-automated hydroponic system, which is sold in US, it costs around 2,40,000 rupees, which we will provide for 12,000 rupees.
Thanks for that answer. I would just say, I think you're laying out all the elements of the total cost or factor productivity, but it's important to actually write that up and get it verified to the question that Sairi asked earlier with real life examples and many of them as you go along.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with
Thanks.
what you said. I think my follow-up question was on same lines. Look, I think it's a great solution. I mean, my plants die all the time, and I've not even grown coriander in my little kitchen patch. So I would love to see if I can leave my plants to a little machine, and there is something to show for it. But also a little bit of personification of your user, like who's willing to pay what. So we saw the retail price of 12,000, and then you're talking about large farms. And both are different customers, right? One is a hobby customer and one is a livelihood customer. And how do we who do we go to first, and uh, what does that mean on our plans to go to market? And I personally would sort of recommend that you definitely test this out with real customers outside of the hackathons as well, like literally neighbors, friends, people on the street, to see whether it excites them.
Okay, so I think this is a two-parter question where we have to first introduce how actually this is going to scale. Second, the go-to-market strategy.
Yeah.
So as for scaling, we have divided the scaling to three things. Firstly, it's the ease of use. But it is a one-step agriculture where you are not going to require any previous experience either in farming or technical. All you really need to do is understand emojis, which will be communicated on two screens. Firstly, the mobile application. Second, the OLED attached to the biome. Second, the ease of scaling. You can scale it into either direction, X direction, Y direction, or you can generate a fully functional agriculture model within your own bedroom. And the third is impact. You will be able to grow continuously organic yields without much efforts put into this. And you will be able to redefine your local supply chain, where the earlier, if coriander was getting exported from Madhya Pradesh to Delhi, now you can grow it locally and you can redefine your local food supply chain. Significant reduction in carbon miles, and it will provide an entrepreneurial journey to many people. As for our go-to-market strategy, we will launch after PCB integration, which has already been designed. We will launch the biome in August of 2023 after testing it with our 56 people that I've mentioned earlier. And from there, it will go to farmers, agriculture industries, and organic food enthusiasts. Our primarily we will go to existing hydroponic farms and we will automate them, from where the user experience data will be collected, and then we will provide a product and service. Product is biome, service will be to automate any hydroponic farms.
Got it. Thank you.
And I had a quick question. I think you mentioned there was something nagging me on cost. You mentioned like it's a cheaper solution with higher yield, right? Usually if a newer technology is cheaper and better, like it sees like a sort of a hyper growth. As far as I'm aware of, like alternative agriculture market, like it's still growing at something like 20, 30%, 40% year on year, not like at a 2x 3x kind of thing. So I would say, like, double check on the cost bit. I don't know, like, something seems off there.
I think we are at time now, and we will take a pause and then we'll give the time to judges to put in the scores. Thank you so much. The next team that will present is E-drishti from the education track.
E-drishti, a software embedded system that makes STEM education accessible to visually impaired people. You might wonder why this topic and how we landed on this solution. Recent searches reveal that there are 5% literate visually impaired people across the globe, out of which only 1% reside in India. According to a recent article by Indian Express and Bogan magazine, government schools in India provide insufficient study materials in Braille up to the 8th standard without any tactile training. That is why most students take up arts and humanities and do not branch out to other professional streams. The failure to provide access creates barrier to education and employment and even undermines an individual's capability. To highlight the cause, recently, two visually challenged students, Kritika Purohit and Reshma Dilip, filed a case in Bombay High Court and Kerala High Court to be allowed to study science beyond secondary school. So, what do we intend to solve? Market statistics say that there are not enough well learned blind tutors to teach science to visually impaired people. Second, with advancing education, all the traditional teaching concepts in Braille become more and more intimidating as one cannot visualize and learn complex science concepts using Braille. Here's what we do. Team E-drishti presents before you a software embedded system that helps visually impaired people study maths, science, and geometrical concepts. The method comprises a hardware device connected to a mobile application. Let's see the demonstration. Here, we have demonstrated sine graph, distance, and displacement concepts of physics.
Let's see how we can understand a sine graph. Minimum value is minus 1.0. Maximum value is 1.0. Line 1. Now, these are the maximum steps taken by the man to reach his destination. The longest path so traveled by the man from the start position to the final position is called distance. Now check the simplest route from the start to the final by touching the raised buttons on the hardware. Yes, the path is along the diagonal. Hence, the displacement is the shortest path from the initial to the final position.
To accomplish this, Team E-drishti has used Flutter, Firebase, and majorly Azure services on the software end, namely Azure's notification service, CI/CD pipeline, and Cosmos database. We even have a competitive business plan which facilitates affordable education for blind people. We not only cover a huge proportion of the market of about 2.2 billion, but also an Indian market of 14 million. Our target market includes the entire visually challenged community, irrespective of age, gender, and type of visual disability. Supporting the noble cause, our project is backed by Agastya International Foundation as our NGO partner, Shri Sai Netrahin Seva Sanstha as a potential customer, and WhatsApp as a potential investor. To this, I would like to highlight that the project recently got patented. Hence, E-drishti not only helps in STEM education, but also contributes to the increasing literacy and employment rate of visually impaired people. Let's have a look at what the users have to say about our project. That was all about our project. Thank you.
Very warm good afternoon from E-drishti to all the judges out here.
Quick question, like, is the product live, and have you tested it in the market?
Yes, I would ask my team member to show the validation of the product. We actually went to a blind association and we got our project tested from there and we got a very great review. As you can see, the testimonial we actually presented right here. We got our idea validated.
चीज आपने बनाया ना तो उससे एक एजुकेशन सबसे बड़ी चीज है एजुकेशन के साथ में वो बहुत अच्छे तरीके से अपने आप को जोड़ सकते हैं कि 4 का फिगर कैसा होता है 7 का फिगर कैसा होता है ए लेटर कैसा होता है वो चीज उनके माइंड में ना एक मेंटली मैप कि 8 7 4 2 8 कैसा होता है वो मेंटली मैप जो है ना उनके दिमाग में वो फिगर आप समझा रहे हो.
So yes, that is what it is, and we validated our ideation. And yeah, to add on to this, the association we visited, they just gave us the agreement to just supply 14 devices to them to start with the initial education of visually impaired people. And yes, when we are ready with our final product, which we are working on, like the very portable one, so it is easy to carry, and that product we will be launching in our market, launching in the market very soon. I would say, you can say pretty I guess after 2 months or so. Yeah.
Very cool. Uh, so, how are you guys making the product, and what does it cost you to make it? What are the components of making it?
That's a very great question, ma'am. First of all, I would like to just again ask, like, you meant the technology used, or
Yeah, both. Like it's a device, right? So
yeah, it's a device.
it's already manufactured.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. I'm the software person. I have built the application and I have used Flutter, Firebase, as well as Azure, CI/CD pipeline and notification service, as well as database, Cosmos database. And Hive database is also being integrated with the Azure database. And when it comes to the hardware, I would shift on to my team member to describe the hardware components.
Good afternoon, ma'am. The parts that we have used in our hardware is Arduino, solenoid door locks, and Bluetooth device, keypads, and various more devices. The initial phase, we are purchasing it from the market, and at the mass production, or let's talk about producing 10 units, we will just try to set up our own making factories like
Manufacturing.
manufacturing units like creating solenoids, creating our own ARM microcontroller board, and very sorts of things so that we can provide our hardware in very cheap rate.
Yes.
At cost buying from the market is quite expensive. So we are trying to make it our by our own so that we can ship them and we can deliver them in a very cheap rate.
Thank you.
So if I just build on the questions, and clearly this is serving a need, but at least it felt to me that this need has been served before by other capabilities, tools, products, and books. As you mentioned, Braille books are available to teach many of these capabilities. The unique thing that I found, at least I felt that you were speaking to, is the fact that this is cheaper than what exists. So there was a cost element differential. That was the unique proposition of this. At the same time, I don't know whether it is as comprehensive and scalable as some of the other tools that exist in the space already. So it could be cheaper, but do far less compared to something that may be more expensive, but is able to do a lot more.
So I would take that question. That's a very great question, first of all, I would like to say. But whatever we research till now, till date, no other product exists in the market, and we have verified this, and we have blind tutors associated with us who are creating this entire curriculum and giving their best to just make education accessible for all. If I come on to your point, so there is no such organization, no government school providing STEM education to visually impaired students or people after 8th standard. And till 8th standard as well, the education is not of that quality, the quality we study. And they're not able to deduce all the geometrical and tactile meanings. So we are providing this, as I mentioned in a presentation as well, that two visually impaired students filed a case at Bombay High Court as well as Kerala High Court, because they are actually facing this issue. And when it comes to the products which are costlier, since there is no such competitor, there are indirect competitors. They are selling the product so costly, and still they are not meeting the requirements of teaching the STEM education. I hope I answered the question. Please let me know if uh, anything.
I did a quick search right now, and I
Yeah.
was looking for tactile pads
Yes.
that are available, and
Yes.
seeing what those effectively tablets can do, because they can bring in a lot more information, and they have a tactile interface, which is not
Yes.
as large as the interface that you have. It's a smaller interface, but with the
Yes.
tip of the
Yes.
fingers, you can still get to achieve a lot. That's where I was asking the question. Hey, listen, seems like this is already there.
Mhm.
The differentiation seems to be on cost structure.
Yes, the differentiation is in terms of cost structure, as well as I would like to highlight that we are controlling the entire hardware using the software. So we have that power, as well as I would like to add over here, as you see saw in the demonstration itself, that entire application is voice controlled. So there's no need of having any interpreter. When I speak of the tactile board you told just now, we need an interpreter for the same. And the cost of interpreter is so much huge. We interacted with the blind people there, and they just let it out that yes, the cost is so huge, we are not able to afford an interpreter. And that's the basic thing, that why these you can say devices aren't being used by them. They do accept that yes, devices exist in the market, but the point is that it is not accessible to them. Either they are too costly, either they need an interpreter, which again counts down to the cost factor. And braille books, you can say 30 to 40% costlier. Braille books are just 30 to 40% costlier than the normal books. So that's what we are helping. Like, we have a great pressing issue which we need to solve, and the market demands that. Thank you.
How will course material get developed for this device?
um, Course material, we have tied up, as we have a partner, Shri Sai Netrahin Seva Sanstha. It is an NGO. We have a group of blind tutors out there, and currently they are helping us to develop all the course materials. I can list down an example, which we just, a blind tutor there explained us. For instance, we need to explain concept of rotation. Now, what would happen is that that particular circle would rise up on the hardware. The pins would rise, and it would ask the blind people to lay the finger on the figure so raised up, and just move your finger around the figure traced. So that's actually called the concept of rotation for visually impaired people. So this was a, you can say, mere example of how we can explain all the science and mathematics and chemistry concepts. So yeah.
Thank you.
So now we invite the third team, which is Vision Neo, and this is the lifestyle track.
This is Karthik from Team Visinon. We are presenting here our device Netram, your digital eye. Let me walk you through the journey of our device. One fine day, while I was traveling in Delhi Metro, I encountered a blind lady. Then we had a good conversation on the solution. The solution is not always a stick. It feels awkward and makes them feel like they are not the part of the society. Later, I surveyed and came across the economic impact of $887 billion that is happening unconsciously because the technology is not channelized in the right manner. If self-driving cars are possible, then why not Netram? If timeline of driverless car is 2025, then what about it? This is the right time to think about it. Netram, your digital eye. This is how easy to place components on different caps with different colors. Let me brief you about the modules and the material, like 180-degree camera view, SOS LED transceiver modules, PVDF coating to absorb electromagnetic radiation, haptic feedback. Up to 70% of material is biodegradable. This is the working architecture of Netram, how it is connected with Azure. Now, talking about how to use it. Switch it on, connect to the app. Enter the current location and destination through audio. The haptic feedback will guide the user along the pathway and help preventing any unpleasant occurrence. How we are going to expand? By direct sale, tie up with NGOs so that it can be provided to those who can't afford it. Different models with different cost. Tie up with fashion brands to sell and give trials to the user. Government aid so that it can be available to all. Tech tie up with an app like Seeing AI. What makes us different? Like saving of route, voice control application, color detection, live stream, text to speech, and the cost of our product is $45 to $50. Then we have pre-reviewed it by the principal of Blind School Bikaner, Rajasthan, and reviewed it by the Chief Secretary of National Association of Blind, Faridabad, Haryana, where we got some positive feedback and some drawback that we have worked upon it.
आप जैसे ही अगर अगर पर्सन पे टैप करोगे ये लैपटॉप डिटेक्ट कर लेगा ये वो परसेंटेज बता जैसे 1% अगर हम तीनों खड़े हो जाएंगे तो तीनों को डिटेक्ट करेगा आपको कोई इमरजेंसी हो रही है तो आप जैसे कैप में इस तरफ जैसे टैप करोगे तो यहाँ एलईडी लाइट्स है वो जैसे आप आ जाओगे आप यहाँ ऊपर ये इस जगह पे जैसे कि आप 69% वॉल्यूम रॉक।
तो थैंक यू सर, मतलब आपने इस लाइन को है ना बिल्कुल सार्थक कर दिया कि हम सशक्त हैं, हमें दुलार चाहिए और बस हमको थोड़ा सा प्यार चाहिए, है ना। तो बहुत अच्छा लगा आप लोगों का इन्वेंशन देख के।
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir and judges.
Really good work. Fascinating. Could you share a little bit about the process of building the device, like the scanner? What components do you like? What goes into it? We saw that there's an OCR and a
Yeah,
sensor.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Like we have used camera modules,
Hmm.
like we can say, yeah, using Raspberry Pi camera modules and all that. That is placed in front, and it's having a networking system that it will connect it to the cloud services. And on the basis of no, like if something goes wrong, if internet is not there, then some of the processing will be done on the module, depending on the data, like that is present on that.
Got
Like
it.
we have.
Got it. And how are you pricing this?
Ma'am, like pricing, we have thought about like 4,000 to 500 in Indian rupees and 45 to $55 according to that models. Like we have wide range of users, not only blinds but the old age that can use it, and for those who are suffering from amnesia, like
Yeah.
those who forget the things and all that.
Got
So
Yeah.
according to the user base, we can change the
Yeah.
cost.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, uh, just want to understand, like,
Yeah.
are there other products in the market which help the blinds more from a navigation perspective?
Yeah,
And
sir.
how, and
Yeah,
more like, hardware kind of thing. How does it differ?
Hmm.
yeah, sir. There are some of the models like we have gone through the like Orcam, VWalk, and all that products. Like we have surveyed in NAB Arkepuram in Delhi, and we have shown lots of 40 to 50 devices that are just on that table, not in the market. The concern of the blinds and that we came across that make them cost effective and liable. Like we can try it and we can use it and make it cost effective and like easy to use, like a stick. Like stick is from very long time, but they want that something that can change the perspective of the society. Like you are not only dependent on stick, we have technology with us also. Like for and if a blind says like that, so he gives me a view about him like a student of 25-year age.
Yeah.
So he said me that.
Okay. Did you guys explore any other format other than caps? Like why zero down on the
Yeah.
cap itself?
Yes, yes, sir. We have like, if I can show you, we have a band also like that we are working on design perspective to enhance more. Like if someone don't feel to wear cap, so it's a point that we had worked upon it.
And so we can also accommodate it in different types of clothing. We can use it for fashion purposes, like we can incorporate it in jewelry, waistbands, and all. So as of now, we have just prepared it on cap. But in the future installments, we are thinking of that.
So I saw your presentation, the proposal. You had some comparisons with a couple of other devices that exist, and those definitely, again, was searching for them and trying to figure out a little bit about them. Um, did you think about what it takes to change the habits and existing learning of somebody who's blind if they've grown up on, let's say, a stick for most of their life, and now it's become a smart stick, which has already helped them, giving in assisted signals, also connected through Bluetooth and apps, these sticks which actually guide you to navigate a little bit. And there are now applications which you can speak to. So it's speech to text, text to speech, which provides a lot of the guidance as you go ahead. So existing technology, a GPS existing in a mobile phone, a camera existing in a mobile phone, which is already in their hands, and therefore doesn't add one more equipment that they need to manage around. So did you think through that process as to why not make something that's already there smarter, and and therefore not have another additional item?
Yeah. So we had surveyed and we had talked with the blinds and also in the school also that we have gone through in Bikaner, that they have said, yeah, apps are there and stuff are there, but the user friendliness, and if let's say you are in a Delhi metro, a crowded metro, and you are taking out of your phone as a blind and doing this, and someone just picks your phone, and if this thing goes wrong, then it's a huge trouble for him. uh, it's a point, but they had said we need some basic training and it will be helpful for us. And as we are focusing more on like 18 to 25-year age group, as it's a fashionable type of thing, so they are happy. They are saying, yeah, the applications are there, and we also looking for tying up with these types of application so that we can get more data and more liable. But they, according to the users that I have gone through, they are happy with the cap. They are not thinking that we have a phone, but they are like that we have a friend like Netram, your eye. So they are taking it as a friend that can guide them to the way. And sir, I want to add some little point here. Like we are looking, like last month, I have just gone through a Wall Street Journal post where Sir Satya Nadella has like said that we are soon getting the ChatGPT API on the Azure. So I think if we can use that and a blind can just talk with the our cap and make them happy, it will be good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So I would like to add here a bit. Also, the electromagnetic radiations that are generated from electric devices are also a cause of concern. But in our cap, we have incorporated a smart material called polyvinylidene fluoride that absorbs these radiations, and thus it makes it safer to use in the longer run. And there will be no such cause of concern for the user. It will be very user friendly and safer to use.
Aren't all of us using mobiles today? Uh,
Mobiles are there, but as our point of research and that we have make it more user friendly and health consciousness, so we have done this.
sure. Awesome. Thanks. This is very good presentation.
Thank you. All the
Thank you
best
so much.
to you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Team Visioneer. It's a pleasure to invite Iksha, which is from the health track, and we can begin the presentation now.
Iksha is a haptic engine that helps the visually impaired feel the 3D surrounding in real time, and a web app that helps them understand the environment. There are 2.2 billion people who are visually impaired according to WHO. Most of them are in India and depend on guide cane, which is very limited. Now you might wonder, there are already a number of products in the market that try to solve this problem. So why is this better? So it is a story that starts with my mother, who is an expert in teaching students with special needs. Because of her, I have made some friends who are visually impaired, and I asked this question to them: that hey, there are many products that help you with obstacle avoidance, so why don't you use them? After an extensive discussion and analysis, we got to two conclusions on why the current products fail. First is the cost of the products, that most of the products are designed for the Western market, which makes them expensive for people in India. The second, which is also the biggest reason, is that current products use audio or vibration to convey depth information. These methods are fundamentally very less detailed and slow, that makes the products virtually useless in the real world. And also, the exposure to extensive vibration haptics could result in permanent loss of sensitivity. So keeping these bottlenecks in mind, we designed and created the Iksha haptic engine, which has four linear haptic actuators, one for each finger, and four time of flight distance sensors. So the closer the obstacle is, further the actuators will press against the fingertips. So just by moving the wrist, you could not only feel the presence of obstacles, but know exactly how far they are. But knowing the presence of obstacles is not enough. So this is where the magic of Azure Cognitive Services comes in. Connect the device to Wi-Fi, start the web app, keep phone in the upper pocket with camera facing outwards. Through audio, you can hear the explanations of whatever's in front.
A man in a blue shirt.
We are testing continuously with visually impaired people to make sure it fits their needs and is affordable. So here you can see one of the students trying out Iksha. The cost of device will be around 45 USD for a product that is significantly cheaper and more affordable than the competition. To give simple analogy, using current products with just use audio or vibration is like looking at a blurred image. You can make out some colors, but that's about it. With Iksha and its four distance sensors with millimeter level accuracy and four high resolution haptic actuators, with each having 180 points of actuation length, it is like perceiving the world in HD for the users. Simply because the amount of depth information Iksha haptic delivers in real time is unmatched. The market of assistive technologies is expected to grow to 13 billion by 2030, and we plan to reach users by approaching NGOs and government institutions, and also to work with government and CSR budgets of companies to subsidize and make the product more affordable.
Okay, so much. We'd love to take any questions.
Super interesting. I know that you've taken a view of India, but do we have any sense of how big is this market globally? Like, uh, if if it's a challenge for, let's say, a country like India, does do the same set of rules apply to, let's say, another market, say Middle
So,
East or Southeast Asia?
so the market for that we showed, which is 13.1 billion expected, is particularly for the Western market only. In India, this market is virtually unexplored. So, to give you an analogy, it's just like an iPhone before the first iPhone launched. So you can't actually predict the amount of the actual market that will be for the new iPhones. So it is like because those products didn't reach India or any developed economy. So currently they are the students or the people who are living in the developing economies. For example, most of the visual impaired people live in India, have, don't have access to any kind of technological devices that help with the haptics, which is very good and natural to them and navigate the surroundings. So, 13.1 billion is for the Western market, and Indian market is virtually unexplored. So there is a lot of opportunity for.
Can you share a little bit on the technology part, like how we are, how is the device working basically?
Sure. So for the actuator part, the haptic engine, there are four parts basically. First is the precision actuator that we have 3D printed and developed the design of, for example, micro complication using the servo motors with 180 points of precision actuation length. And you just strap on the device, and the four distance sensors that are placed in 120 degrees field of view measure the distance in real time. And basically they are instantaneous and with millisecond level uh, time difference, and we are trying to get it even lower. So it is very real time, and it takes only 3 to 4 seconds once you move the device around in any setting to get understanding of exactly how far the obstacle is. And also, as we mentioned, we are also using leveraging the power of Azure, which made our job very easier to allow the users understand what exactly is surrounding them. So knowing the uh, where the obstacle is not enough for them, we found out during testing. So we leverage the power of Azure to make them understand what is in front of them actually.
If I may build on the questions, first of all, compliments to you on the mechanical side of your innovation, the electromechanical side, where you've gone in to understand depth of field and combine that with existing capabilities that exist in leveraging the visual uh, sort of analysis that already is available on many apps and many devices to use GPS as well as cameras and also text to speech, speech to text. So all of that exists. You that bit I would say is rebuilt or made again, but the mechanical side is interesting. I was future testing this combo for you, and given how fast the visual technologies are moving, especially camera technologies, and the analytics that are coming out of those camera technologies. I would find it a little remiss at this point in time to imagine that the next version of the 5G phones that are coming through will not have capabilities to do a lot of what you're doing with your mechanical side.
Yeah. So basically problem with those solutions that are based on cameras is the visual impaired person might not have idea of how good the lighting is around him or her. So basically, because we started off with the camera itself, we started detecting depth with camera, and we quickly found out during testing that it's very unsustainable method or ineffective method of detecting detecting changes in dynamic view situation. So that's why we moved on to onto the sensors, and we leveraged the cameras for the understanding of the environment part.
Got it. Uh, But are you thinking through a little bit of the pace of change that has happened in the camera technology, let's say in the last 2 years, and if you just project it forward, will that give you a sense of what's coming?
Precisely. So, for example, LiDAR technology is already available in flagship smartphones, but those smartphones are not accessible. For example, they cost around at least $700 USD. So they are virtually inaccessible to most of the people who are visually impaired who actually don't have a real world job at all. So it's very inaccessible, that particular technologies of advanced technologies of LiDARs or depth detection technologies that all are coming integrated in flagship smartphones. So we definitely need something cheaper to make them accessible, to make these technologies accessible.
Got it.
How are you looking to get to this product into market, and what kind of validation you have done?
So the best way to go to market for us is hop from organization to organization, because we can't outreach to the users through traditional forms of visual advertising methods. So it's best in our situation to jump from organization to organization. Currently, we are in touch with one government and one private institutions, and also one all-girls school. So we've actually the head of the all-girls school actually wanted 150 devices. So that we will deliver in end of March. We plan to deliver it, all those devices to end of March, so that we can test it further in more extensive way.
I think building from what Anand said, a little bit what, let's say you do this and let's say you get to a certain amount of scale, you distribute, let's say, 100,000 devices. What next? Like, what are possible challenges and opportunities for somebody like you?
So the possible challenges is to uh, sustain the business model after the user has bought the device. For example, we will try to do that through subscription as a service model for the Azure Cognitive Services part. So it will be actually very cheap. The estimated cost for the subscription would be 400 rupees per year. So I think that would sustain the business further after the initial purchase of the device. Just that's about it.
It's a great pleasure to welcome Sandeep Alur. He's the director, tech specialist, and manages the Microsoft Technology Center and creates outstanding innovations and case studies to inspire the audience on the use of tech in the real world. And he's an awesome leader, and we welcome him to Imagine Cup and finals event and request him to share insights on AI and the new innovations that are being made possible through the use of new technologies. Over to you, Sandeep, and a very warm welcome.
Awesome. Vinny, thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be part of this afternoon. And I did, join a little early, and all the ideas coming in. And truly, kudos to each one of you. It's your efforts, it's your idea, and you're giving life to it. So congratulations and best wishes to each one of you. So what I'll do for the next, I would say 5-6 minutes, is to give you a peek into some of the latest innovations. Right, AI is the most spoken term. Right, I'll give you a bit of a glimpse into, I would say, artificial general intelligence, AGI, we call it, right? Of course, all of you would have played with ChatGPT, but let's look at a little beyond that. Number two, I'll also give you a glimpse into the world of mixed reality. Okay. Now, in fact, let's start with mixed reality so that you get a sense of. I'm sure you would have played with augmented reality, virtual reality. We look at mixed realities. By the way, just so all of you understand, mixed reality is a classic, I would say, manifestation of physical world, virtual world coming together. That means you will see virtual objects in the physical world, and you'll treat those virtual objects as good as any physical asset. Yeah. So in fact, I'm joined here by my colleague Vishnu, and he's our demo expert today. I'm going to share my screen, and what you should see in a few seconds is a visual that's basically projected from his HoloLens that he's wearing. Okay. And let me just do that in a second. Let me share my screen. You should see my desktop any second. And by the way, what you'll see is, he's actually looking at me, and hence what you're seeing right now is the visual. Let me give you a use case here, right? Vishnu, Sheikh, just stay steady. Let me give you a use case here. Imagine you're in the architecture, engineering, construction business, and you basically looking at, hey, let's say it's an empty apartment, right? You basically are in the construction business. You want to basically do interiors. Now, here is a use case where imagine this room is empty. I want to look at how does modern, I would say, electrical equipments look in this room. Let's say fans, right? Now Vishnu will turn around and look at, if you look at the scene, there's no fans in this room, by the way, right? There's no fans as he's seeing up. But I want to put a fan here. So we have a virtual, I would say, 3D asset, which is given by one of the electrical company. And I want to see how it looks. So I don't have to get a physical asset here. I can look at how the virtual one looks, but it's mixed reality. I'm seeing through my naked eye, not through the phone, by the way. Vishnu, why don't you just show us, the fan just a little above you there, right? As you look up, you will see a fan stuck to the ceiling, right? By the way, he can move it around. Vishnu wanted to move it. Move the fan to some other location, Vishnu. There are two fans here, but pick up the fan, Vishnu. Pick up the fan and no, yeah, just hold it and move, right? Right now he's moving the fan and just move to a different location. That's all, right? If I want to say, hey, how does this fan look in this part of my experience zone or a room or a living room? You can play with it, right? By the way, he's using hand gestures, just picking up an object like you pick up any physical object. I mean, this is a true power. By the way, we can get the fan towards me, Vishnu. Just get it towards me. Let's see. People should be able to see it. See, he's getting it towards me right now. I can see the fan right here, right? So if this is a quick glimpse into the world of mixed reality, by the way, I have one other example which I'll show you. But look, what he's doing right now is moving these objects and looking at, hey, how does this room look if the fan is here or there elsewhere, right? Architecture, engineering, construction, I would probably call it as a bigger umbrella called industrial metaverse. I think all of you in the call today, go and check out what is industrial metaverse. You'll understand a lot more about it. Okay, this is the first demo I want to showcase. And while Vishnu prepares for the second demo, let me just switch over and probably take you to the world of artificial intelligence, right? I'm sure you would have played with ChatGPT now. I'm not sure whether you've seen the new Bing, right? The new Bing is a classic, I would say, example of the chat GPT experience, which conversation AI with recency of search, right? I'm in the new Bing. By the way, you never going to search for links. If it is when you search today, you're going to get 100 links, right? It's difficult to prioritize what you want. Now, let's look at conversation search, right? I'm basically posting questions saying, hey, I'm a student. I want to understand the latest in the world of technology. Can you share top 3 innovations that will shape the future? That's my question as a student. Imagine you ask this question to any search engine, you get back links, right? And then you have to navigate the link. But here I'm just going to ask this question to the new Bing, right? This is pure conversation, by the way, right? It is searching for information first, and eventually it's going to come back with very meaningful construction of a narrative. And that's your starting point to know what are those 3 areas that you want to research on. Rather than you looking at links and identifying, man, there are 2,500 innovations, which is the top 3 one, right? It's saying Wi-Fi 6 and 5G, artificial intelligence and machine learning, and robotic process automation. This is what is supposed to shape the future of the industry, right? Of course, if I say give me 5, it will give me 5. I asked for 3, by the way. It's only going to give me 3, right? So this one. Now, if you look at, right now, the chat GPT Excel you would have played around with, it's truly a classic example of generative AI, right? That means it is natural language generation. It has the capability to generate content, and that will happen in a very conversation fashion because it understands natural language, right? I'll show an example for you guys. I don't know how many of you, by the way, played with DALL-E. DALL-E is another innovation from OpenAI, right? So let's look at this. I have another example here. I'm saying, you know what, this is DALL-E. You should just go and look up, Bing image creator, right? It's already there. If you just go and ask, if you basically given your natural language description, anything you want to generate in natural language, it generates visual for you, right? I'm looking at here and typing in, hey, a group of students presenting their ideas to an elite panel of industry leaders. Let's see what comes up, right? I'm basically sending my request here, and I should get an image created from scratch, original image, never seen before image, right? So this is something which is a second innovation from OpenAI. Let's see what comes up, right? And by the way, you might be wondering, hey, how come it's giving us images of people who probably doesn't look like Indians, right? So that'll be the first thought. By the way, I never specified to this engine saying I want students from specific country. I might probably say a group of Indian students, right? Let's see what comes up now. It's creating right now, because that means I'll have to be a lot more precise in what I want. Accordingly, response comes back, right? Let's see what comes up right now. Should be interesting one. Yeah, lot more Indian, right? Looking at the response that's coming, and looks very diverse also in terms of the way it's represented, right? By the way, just a quick example of the true power of natural language to visual art, right? You give instruction natural language, what comes out is visual art, visual representation of that particular stuff, right? I mean, this is cool, right? This is from, you're not looking up a database and giving information. It's purely coming from from um, uh, from a technical diffusion. Okay, let's move forward. I have an interesting use case here. Yeah, so let's look at this. See, all of you understand that what ChatGPT is an application, right? It's been built to demonstrate the true power of generative AI. Now, underneath ChatGPT, the model which are powering ChatGPT are ABCD, Ada, Babbage, Curie, Da Vinci. Those are the models, right? I'm using Da Vinci. This is, by the way, Azure OpenAI Studio. I'm in Da Vinci, and look. So imagine, let's take a scenario where it's a healthcare situation, healthcare industry, and there are doctors basically who constantly look for journals, right? Those journals are something that they depend on to learn new stuff. What's in the world of medicine? Is there a cure for so-and-so medicine? What's happening there and here? Now, here is an example where there's a new journal that's coming which talks about, hey, temporal trends in low dose aspirin use, right? That's basically is the ask here. Now, by the way, journalists come in. I don't have time to read, by the way, right? There is so much happening on a daily basis as a doctor, but can generative AI tell me, hey, without reading a magazine, without reading this particular document, I want to know, is the study conclusive on the benefits of taking low dose aspirin for individuals with diabetes? I'm asking this question straightforward, right? Let's see what comes back. That means for the OpenAI model, I'm saying, hey, Da Vinci model, look at this data and respond to me. It beautifully comes back and says, no, study is not conclusive, right? If it says it was conclusive, then you probably should read it. Make sense, right? I'm going to ask all sorts of questions here, by the way, right? Let's knock this off so that I can get more question. I can say, by the way, your question is, what is a low dose aspirin, right? Let's ask that question and see what happens, right? So, just for awareness sake, it says low dose aspirin is a medication which is less than 300 milligram. Yeah, this one. Let's move to let's move another demonstration here. Okay, let's look at this one. By the way, all of us, make calls to, let's say, let's say e-commerce firms. Let's say Myntra. You made a call to Myntra, and I'm sure all of you would have shopped online, right? Absolutely. I'm sure nobody is left behind here. You would have bought something from Amazon, Flipkart, etc. Now imagine you're not happy with the shipment. Something has gone wrong, and you make a call to the call center, right? And the call center basically, picks up a call, and you're talking to them, and basically you're unhappy with what has happened on the delivery. That means you're not happy with the entire e-commerce, entire buying process itself is disappointing, right? And you're sharing that with the call center agent, and the call center agent basically is in damage control mode. The call center personnel, he or she does not want to basically lose you the customer. So what this person does is, imagine this is a classic conversation between agent and a consumer. Now let's see how beautifully the technology summarizes for us, right? This is a true, I would say, power of generative AI. All of you should know this. You guys have built such cool solutions. Imagine what AI can do for the situation. So here it's a 10-page document. It beautifully summarizes saying, hey, you know what? This is a customer conversation, customer disappointed, and this customer is the e-commerce company is offering discount for future shopping, right? I don't have to read through 10-page document, understand what is happening there. Okay. I think I'll take a pause now. I'm sure all the leaders have joined back. So this is a quick glimpse into what is practically possible going forward in the world of AI and mixed reality. Thanks so much, Vinny. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Sandeep, for sharing your inspiring thoughts. It's awesome to have you here. The judges are back in the room and they have discussed the scores, and it is time to make the announcement for the winners of Imagine Cup India finals today. And I will hand this over to Anand to share and make the announcement for the winning teams.
Thank you
Over
so
to you,
much,
Anand.
Vinny. So first up, once again, huge congratulations to all the four teams. It was fascinating to see your presentations, and I can tell you I've seen Imagine Cup final presentations in the past, and this was definitely a step up. So great to see the way all of you prepared and all of you brought the use cases out. It was also quite interesting that three of the teams were addressing the same sort of big user segment around the visual disability and how you were solving for it, coming from different ways to get there. I would encourage the three teams to talk to each other, because I think you can learn from each other and get inspired in building more use cases in what you're doing. But as you can understand, we can only pick two out of the four that we have here, who will then move on to the global championship. So the two winners moving forward into the global championship, and in no order, it's just in the order of presentation, is Biome and Visioneer are the two winners. So. So I will pass it on to Sairi and Shashank to provide their comments, and then we'll wrap up.
Thank you. Thank you, Anand. Thank you, Vinny and the team. And congratulations to the winning teams and to everyone who participated. My energy levels are definitely up. I learned so much, and I just love the courage, hardware meets software and a hard social problem. I think this is deeply telling on the mindset of India today and of our entrepreneurs. So just one thing from me. Look, I think everything you've done today is representative of your courage and hustle and your innovative problem solving. Your problems will evolve, your technologies will evolve, the markets will constantly change, but keep that up. I think that's really, change is the only constant, but being able to take on hard challenges is what this whole thing is all about. So go for it, and of course you have a lot of support. You're on this massive platform, and make the most of it, and collaborate. I think you're taking on hard problems. Bring on peers to help you solve it. So all the best to each one of you.
Thank you, Sairi. And may I request Shashank as well to share your thoughts and feedback?
Yeah, I really loved all the presentations. I'm really, really excited to see the level of creativity and all the hard work that you guys have done to, to get to this stage and to, not just build the product, but also take it in the hands of the, of the potential users, get their feedback, do iterations on it, right, and also, courageously handle all the questions. I think it's really good to see, and I hope you guys will continue in this spirit, right? Because that I think is very important. And I would only give one feedback that I think as you graduate from college and think about think how you can take these products to market, okay? Because some of these have really good potential, and as you take that step of taking the product from more of a R&D research and development phase to more of an actual product with a proper business model, I think that's the real place where I think a lot of people get tested. But I think today, given how rapidly India is progressing from a technological standpoint, I think it's a great time to attempt to take some of these products to market. If you have come this far, right? I've seen historically, in the past, a lot of because again I have the experience of seeing a lot of people going through Imagine Cup, so I've seen people build some of these solutions, but somehow they fail to take it to market beyond. But obviously that was a different time. Mobile was not as penetrated, internet was not as penetrated, and today there's a lot more support for entrepreneurs. So that's what I'll leave with, like think about how you can take these solutions to market and focus on launching it. And Imagine Cup is a really a great platform to support and help you take it to market. And also like think about like how you convert it into an actual product, and help the country. And this whole theme of hardware plus social plus plus software, I think it's a great intersection. And I'm really glad that all the ideas sort of touched upon that equation, because I think that's where like a lot of real problems in India can be solved. Yeah.
I'll just maybe just add final comments. You heard both from Sairi and from Shashank. They are wonderful entrepreneurs, lighthouses for the entrepreneurial system in the country. And a lot of what they said is gold. Just lean on to that. The only quick comment I would have for both Team Iksha and E-drishti is I think you're on a journey that'll get you to a much better sort of milestone. I know there would be disappointment today that you may have, and you would ask the question, "Hey, listen, what is it that I could have done differently?" My only guidance to you would be, you did a great job. It was tough for us. It wasn't easy to go and have this conversation. So it wasn't as if it was a slam dunk. I just want to let you know that bit. So continue on that journey. Learn from each other. I think you saw three other peers around you who did a phenomenal job. So I really want to congratulate you once again for getting to this point. Vinny, back to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Anand, Sari, and Shashank. It was wonderful to have you here today and also sharing your comments and insights. I would like to congratulate the winning teams and also all the teams that have reached the finals. Each one of them has worked hard, and you should see as a big milestone to build up on your ideas. And we will arrange for mentorship sessions for each one of you who has reached to the finals and even in the semi-finals too, because there were wonderful ideas there as well. And we hope that you will continue on this journey of innovation and partnership and collaborate with each other. Heartfelt thanks to the distinguished judges, Sairi, Anant, and Shashank, and inspiring the young leaders and sharing some wonderful insights that will guide them for their future path as well. Would like to thank all the students, mentors, teachers, institutions, our partners as well, who have contributed to make this happen. Thank you. And with this, we wrap up the India Imagine Cup finals. Thanks. And we look forward to being in touch with each one of you. Thank you.